The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Hey everyone, this is James from Cave Dweller Music. Thanks for tuning in. I have my co-host Brandon with me, and today we're joined by two members of the band Soy, Max and Eric. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you want to just kind of tell everyone a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about Soy, for anyone who doesn't know your music?
Yeah, sure. I'm Eric. I use he or they pronouns, and I am the vocalist and primary lyric writer in Soy, and sometimes I do saxophone.
Nice.
And then I'm Max. I use he him. I'm the lead guitarist and one of the two main primarily music songwriters in the band. And I like making very loud noises with my guitar.
And Soy is a very amorphous noise rock project from Southern Ohio, so edge of Appalachia, Mason-Dixon line, Rust Belt, but we're unabashedly queer, and we're queer, we're queer, and we're full of existential fear, so we're ready.
Is that on the back of your t-shirts?
No, it should be though. We have a t-shirt that says, it's like the Dare logo, and it says Soy, keep noise rock gay.
Okay.
You have your Future is Queer shirt too, which you wore a few times.
Oh, I'm wearing it right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm wearing a pink cardigan and a shirt that says the future is queer.
Well, there you go. So I kind of just wanted to start off by saying thanks for contributing to our charity sampler. We really appreciate the tracks that you guys gave us, and we're happy you were a part of it.
Yeah, killer tunes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we really appreciated it. We have followed your account for a minute and always liked the stuff that you guys put out, and so we were like, "Oh shit, let's do it." For real.
That's awesome. I mean, we actually hadn't heard your music before you put the name down on the sign up list, and then the second I heard is like, yeah, these guys they're definitely going on this. This is perfect fit.
Yes.
That's what we like to hear. We aim to please.
Well, you have one track from the last album, the Johnathan album, that pleased both Brandon and I like a hell of a lot. We both absolutely love track 11. This track is a planet killer. We were actually talking about that today.
Yeah. That is one of our favorites. Playing that live is just like, we always do that as the closer, because obviously it's like the loudest, biggest thing we do. But the first time we played it all the way back like in 2020, we actually had one guy who was head bumping so hard he accidentally like bit into his lip and started bleeding and stuff like that. It was that intense.
It was fun. And then the last time we played it live, we were in a weird church in the middle of like nowhere, and at the end I stripped basically nude and ran off into the woods. How else do you finish the song other than to like tear your dress off and run away into the woods?
I think that's the closer people remember.
I remember during that show, I don't remember that, but then I was looking at a video of us playing that, and I just see you out of the corner just run off screen shirtless going, ah! And I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That actually makes me think of Butthole Surfers. You know those guys?
Oh, we love Butthole Surfers for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, very much. That's sort of the realm of music that is the basis of what we do. Is that sort of like bordering on the absurd, but like also just really fun.
Right. Yeah. Rooted in punk and noise, but not quite either as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I kind of wish that I had seen them in the 90s because from what I've heard, that their live shows, like when they were first starting out, were absolutely insane. Like it just got ridiculous.
Mm.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I feel like shows now are so tightly regulated, I guess. Like I know there's still like plenty of great house shows, but I feel like in the 90s, even at like big venues, there were like no rules or something. So
Right.
shit got, like absolutely bizarre.
Right, exactly. Like everything just got crazy. Like you hear all those stories about like the extreme metal bands and the underground doing insane stuff, and like all those 90s noise rock bands just being completely weird on stage and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that have you seen that documentary on Netflix about Woodstock 90 in the 90s?
I haven't yet, no, but I've seen the memes about it.
Okay. That's kind of like a personification of what we're talking about. Like the fact that that was allowed to go down at a festival is just absolute insanity. Like that nowadays, that would never happen.
For sure.
It-
For sure.
I think like the 94 Woodstock had like all the mud and everything. And then in 99 Woodstock, there was like fires and it was like really
Yes.
violent too.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
They both had the mud, but apparently the mud was like completely contaminated with feces.
Oh,
And because
Oh.
the porta potties like leaking into the water supply, and everyone was like swimming in it and drinking it, and people got like
Well-
trench mouth and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say like hoof and mouth disease and like just like whatever, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's
yes.
that maybe not the exact element of the 90s that we're trying to bring back these
Right.
days.
Yeah,
Right.
we prefer the lack of feces.
I don't know, crazy stuff happens, but like definitely that sort of artsy, or no, artsy is the wrong way to put it, because we're not trying to be pretentious, we're just trying to be ridiculous, and
Right.
It's really expressive in a natural way, though.
just like being
unconstrained.
Hmm?
Unconstrained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
obviously you have Butthole Surfers as an influence. Who else would you say that your sound is influenced by?
One of the big ones is all like the Andy Falkus projects, like McCluskey and Future of the Left.
Oh
Like
yeah,
we worship them.
so good.
Like
Nice.
amazing. And then a lot of we like a lot of post-hardcore bands too. Like particularly like Fugazi is awesome.
Mhm.
And we have like universal stuff, and then each member sort of has their own like personal type stuff. Like with our bassist, for example, like her favorite band is Oxbow, and we love Oxbow too, but she's like love like the weird experimental parts, and then like with the guy's like weird voice, and like during the shows after each song he would take off a piece of clothing and slowly strip to his underwear. Like he was great. Whereas like for me, like I kind of, everyone else with like the post-hardcore stuff, I was a little late to that stuff, because when the band formed, I was more into like the alt rock and like the 2000s garage rock, like the White Stripes and the Black Keys and stuff like that. And I still love like Jack White and stuff like that, but in terms of musically of what I want to write, it mostly came from like the post-hardcore alternate noise rock type stuff and punk music of like the 90s and 2000s.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, I love everything that we all do, but in terms of stuff that I like use for my vocal stuff is like Idols, Mudhoney,
Yes.
Brainiac, Melvins, just like, and even like Dead Kennedys and Faith No More, who's like
Yeah.
just like really dynamic, weird. Like I heard, I can't even. Who's the lead singer of Faith No More again? What's his name?
Oh
Like
man,
that.
I didn't. Mike Patton.
Yeah, Mike Patton. I saw when I was a kid, I saw a documentary, and they were like looking at his like vocal cords or something, and he was saying like, "Oh, I just use my vocal cords like they're putty," and I was like, "That's what I want to do. I want to just like, I want to make all these crazy noises. Like, I really don't focus on like melody unless it like absolutely suits me. I'm just like, can I go like,
just as shitty as possible, basically.
yeah, I mean, like, to a degree, it's shitty in the sense that, like, I don't really care that much about it sounding pretty. I just want it to be, like, what's cathartic for me. It's, like, my whole thing is, like, I don't, like, I love especially, like, the small cult following you have of fans, but, like, for me, it's, like, it's just for me. That's why I'm doing shit.
Yeah. And also, Eric, your vocals too, like you do have the ability to be like really melodic and singing. You did that more on our first album versus
Mm.
Johnathan. And we really hope that you bring some of it back. But yeah, Eric is just like such a diverse and good singer and a really good front person. Like it's just great.
Stop.
We've talked like Eric, we've talked about times before where we're like, oh, we need to like you because you live in Maine and everyone else lives in Ohio. And so like, oh, when I'm in Maine, you guys just need to get someone to replace me. I'm like, no, it's really not possible.
Yeah.
Does that distance kind of make it hard to record and play live stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's part of the reason I feel like we try to do our so crazy at our shows to some degree, because it's like we do like 1 or 2 shows a year.
Okay.
And so like we just go absolutely ape shit. And it's also we just make it extra weird and bizarre. Like last time we invited a bunch of people to like a weird church in the middle of the Ohio, like middle of nowhere. People we had never met, and they just had like a bizarre, like semi-religious punk show, and I don't know, it was really funny. We had organs in it and everything.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Is there any footage from that?
I wonder.
There is. It's in a Google Drive folder. I saw it once, but I could probably like send it to you guys if you still need it.
I'm just curious about the organs and being involved in the church setting.
It's like one of those like like the organs aren't that loud, unfortunately, in comparison to all of our amplifiers and like the PA system that we use. So I can see Eric like going up there in the footage, but you can't hear. But it's really funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how did the band form? Were you always separated by distance, or did you used to be in the same town or city? Or
Yeah, we grew up all in the same. I mean, like not the exact same town, but the same area in southern Ohio, like in the Ohio River Valley. And we all went to the same middle school and high school, which was like a kind of like bougie private school, if we're being honest. And it was like, we never really fit in because we were like the really wannabe punks, and like all the kids were looking.
People driving their Land Rovers and shit. And like
we were playing in like we were blasting Bad Brains and shit, and like trying to be shit, and like wearing ripped clothes and fucking heavy metal t-shirts. It's like that classic, just like I don't know, it's like angry suburban kids. It's the classic.
And the thing is with our grade specifically is that there were like the other grades had a few people that were in that category. And our grade, the grades in general at our school were really small. It was no more than like 80 people. And usually there'd be like 5 or 6 people within each grade that fit in that category. But for us, it was like 30 of us.
Yeah, it was like almost 25% of our grade was just like weird punks and like weebs and furries and gun shit and like punks and metalheads and emos. It was really funny.
Yeah, but our grade. Oh, I was gonna say that in terms of like the exact origin of the band, it was basically Eric, our bassist Leah, and our guitarist Lex, and our current drummer Noah, and then another ex-classmate named Matt. We're all in a band together for like the high school football bands and whatnot. And I wasn't a part of it originally. I'd always just see them, and that was also during the time where I didn't get into the music that Eric and everyone else liked. And so I'm like, oh, you guys are I literally said in like my freshman year of high school, oh, Nirvana's too edgy for me, which is fucking ridiculous, which is so ridiculous. But they were in their own band and they would play at the talent shows, but their guitarist Matt, he would like kind of just want to do Pearl Jam or Led Zeppelin or stereotypical songs, and everyone else didn't have a say. And then like it was Eric could probably tell it better than I did. I just heard about it, is that they were doing the junior year talent show. And they were kind of like deciding what song to do. And Matt wanted to do like a Pearl Jam song. Everyone's like, oh, maybe. And then Eric and everyone else like, no, we should do Whitewater by Caius. And then they were like, and he got really mad, apparently. I don't know. I wasn't there, but then he got kicked out of Eric's house, brought in another friend of ours. Band drama. And then because of that, a month later, we had an event in our school called Discovery Day, which is we dedicate one day to do like a non-school activity like art. And in this case, it was like rock band. But since there was still that tension between everyone else and Matt, we just like, he was a senior, we were juniors. So I'm like, okay, let's just do juniors and seniors. And at the time, I never played guitar with any of them, even though I joined for the Discovery Day thing. And we got together and we did California Uber Alice. We learned that in like 2 hours. And then a very early version of Early Man. And then the greatest song of all time, You Suffer by Napalm Death. And we did that like all really. But we did it all really proficiently. And everyone was like, wow, this is like the most proficient that we've ever been. And we started a band over it.
At that time, the first name we had was Ellen Degenerate.
Yes. And then it was Poor Comrade. And then during an assembly our senior year, Leah just came up and she was like, Soy. I forget the exact context.
With a period at the end.
Yes.
It's perfect.
It was originally capital S, lowercase o, capital Y.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't accept that when we tried to publish it on Spotify. So we were like, okay, I guess we'll just be regular Soy with a period.
Yeah. Just don't use. I bet you could use it on DistroKid. Don't use CD Baby. We learned the hard way.
Yeah. Oh, but also, and keep in mind that this whole story, I'm like having like flashbacks of high school now. but like, keep in mind that at that time we're just all a bunch of cishet dudes, or at least thought we were, like just a couple of cishet white dudes, and then we like all periodically came out in our own way, like really hard came out, and like basically changed the way we lived our lives. And yet the thing is, like, the music stayed with us. It was something that sort of like, at least for me, like ties the selves that I have been and the self that I am now, like just a sort of like fun project that feels really authentic regardless of like who I am at the time.
Yeah. And just our general friendship, because we were all friends before the band started. Like, we've been friends forever.
Yeah,
that's what it's mostly about. We not only do we
first.
enjoy playing music together, we enjoy being together, even if it's not music related.
Yeah, it's kind of like, isn't the real Soy the friends that we made along the way?
That is true.
But it shows,
That's why we did.
It shows in the music. Like, that's why the music's so much fun to listen to, because you guys are genuinely having fun playing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Specifically with our most recent album, because like the first album we did, we were still kind of trying to figure out what to do. I still wasn't fully on board with like all the music that everyone else liked. But then with Johnathan, COVID happened. I kind of got on the same plane of what we should do musically. And so we had the time with COVID, and thankfully none of us got sick, but we mostly just spent time writing music. And to this day, it is still my favorite stuff to play, because we were all just like in sync with each other.
Yeah.
We all just kind of got it.
Awesome. It shows.
Yeah, it's quality.
Thank you.
So you have an album coming up as well that you wanted to mention a little bit. It's called Re-Energized. It's a remix album, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is. So our first album was called Energize Me, and that was recorded during high school as part of like a senior requirement sort of thing. And for us, like, as high schoolers, as 18-year-olds, we just kind of went in, did the music, let our producer guy Bill, which we still love, God bless Bill.
He did some stuff with the band Gangrene, I think, and we're like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so we just kind of like did it, recorded it in 2 days. He mixed it in a day, and we're like, we got to get it out as soon as possible. And then we kind of listened back to it as the years went on, and we're like, you know, Bill's kind of more of like doing his job, and we didn't know what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, these songs are still really good, but I feel like they could be better. And so 3 years later, out of the blue, we texted Bill saying, hey, can we have the stems for them? And he responded and gave us them.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, oh yeah, totally cool with it, and which is super awesome. And so then for me, I was the one that put it on myself to be like, okay, now I'm going to learn how to basically produce rock music. And it took me a few months to learn how to like I've worked on like Early Man, which is one of our songs, for like a few months. And then I finally got a version that like sounded good in my car speakers. And then I kind of redid everything else. But then Eric was like, what if we give the stems to other artists and they could do their own like dance and like electronic remixes.
Like-
and so we did that, and we got like a bunch of like awesome responses from other artists just making like dance remixes of The Saw Has Spoken, or our friend Sean who made like a noise remix. And it just adds on more depth to the music. And it's something that I'm, as someone who produced half the record, I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, and that's out. That's gonna be out April 11th on Liminal Dread Productions. Fucking love our label guys; they're so great.
Yes.
Absolute icons. Go check them out. LiminalDreadProductions.com. Hell
How
yeah,
did you come to work with Liminal Dread?
Max. You know this more than me.
Yeah. So the head of the record label are two friends that I went to college with, and we were part of a guitar club at my university. And then he graduated early, and then he came back one day after he graduated just to say hi to everyone when he was in town, and he was like, hey, I like made a record label. And he brought like a cassette, and it looked really cool. And he was like, you should just get Soy on to join it. And we were like, that sounds like a great idea. And so we kind of talked about it for a few months, and then eventually we left our old label Floorjazz, which was awesome.
Yeah,
but then we
Floorjazz for real. Great folks as well. Who helped us put out. Jonathan helped us mix it, helped us distribute it, and everything.
Yeah, shout out to Fred and Smith Math. Although Smith Math doesn't exist anymore, which
he's like got a new project, but I forget the name of it. But it sounds pretty cool. They've got like a vinyl out. I'll shout it out some.
Yeah, but it was kind of that was for like, because Floorjazz is very DIY, and for us at the time, like that's exactly what we needed. But now, since we're all gonna graduate college soon, and we'll actually have time to dedicate to the band instead of waiting for months on end to do stuff, we kind of decided to go to something more serious with more wider connections, because the two guys who run it one lives in New York and one lives in Minnesota. So it adds more like regional distribution.
Nice.
It just seemed a little bit more like professional, just for us to take the next step forward, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, also, we caught them right at a time when they were like signing a bunch of new bands, and like literally some of them are so cool. There's bands like Tooth Puller is like a 2-piece like black metal kind of atmospheric. It's really good. Tooth Puller, freaking what are they called? Hypnopompia.
I don't know. I don't know many of the actual band names. Michael told me about this one like 16-year-old kid who makes black metal in his like recording studio owned by his parents, and he like mixes and produces everything and then sends it to him. Does it all by himself, and he's like 16. It's really good. I've heard some of it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So we were just really lucky that they were like, oh, especially because we're not like, not that Liminal Dread Productions is at all like restrictive in their genres, but it definitely focuses more on like black metal and like dark atmospheric stuff. And our music is like intense, but I don't think I could really call it dark and atmospheric. Or even like I like definitely has elements of like black metal and like everything grindcore and power violence and stuff like that, but at the same time I'm not sure we fit. I'm not sure we fit exactly in, but they were like, "Hey, your music is good," and we were like, "Hey, your label is cool. Let's get married."
Yeah.
You guys are helping them branch out to a new demographic.
Exactly, gay.
Yeah. Everything that we are, basically, they wanted, and they also said like, "Oh, we need an Ohio connection too," and we were like the first. I don't know if we were the first, but like one of like the more, I guess, somewhat well-known Ohio bands, which was important to them too. And also like they're my friends, and after like knowing them for years and playing with them too musically, like these guys know what they're doing, and we just need to get on that train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking through their Bandcamp right now, they have some really interesting looking stuff on here. I'm gonna have to listen through this later.
Oh yeah.
There's an album called A Revolutionary Field Guide to North America. To the Mushrooms of North America, Volume 1.
Yes, iconic. I don't actually know how to say it. It's Mycorrhizal.
Mycorrhizal.
Whatever it is, absolutely sick, super cool. exchanged some words on Instagram. Seemed like really sick person. Awesome. And
Green
such a
an-
cool name.
Yeah, green anarchist, anti-fascist, experimental black metal from Wisconsin. I'm gonna check that out. That definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So, talking about Ohio, are there any local or regional bands that people should be listening to that may not know about?
We mentioned earlier, but Brainiac, they're from Dayton, and they made some like 3 albums in the 90s. That's like, those are our like local heroes, I guess. They're awesome. They're so good.
Yeah, and bands that are Slut Bomb is really great. Body Farm from Columbus, really, really cool. Minority Threat from Columbus, I think. This Moment in Black History, great band. I'm not sure they're still together. I think
Wait, they're from Ohio?
Yeah, they're from Cleveland.
Oh shit.
I think it's great. It's just like all really good punk. It's really good DIY. You know, Ohio has a lot of reputations for a lot of different things, and musically, it's like either country music or emo. And there's definitely some really great emo bands. Like Cataracts is so good. We've played with them before. But also, there's a really cool kind of underground, like, I'm not sure I could give it an exact name, but like we're really trying to push the limits sonically, like. Whether it's like combining different interesting genres or like really just being so aggressive it extends beyond any label like punk or metal. It's just like because like how else are you going to react to living in Ohio other than to be like screaming?
You could be the Black Keys from Akron.
Yeah, just make. I mean, I blame it on the pollution from the Ohio River, but like there's a lot going on.
And the chili. Don't forget about the chili. That creates a different pollution on its own.
Right.
Hey man, love Skyline chili.
That is the most heated debate in like the southern Cincinnati area is Skyline chili. Have any of you guys heard of Skyline?
I was gonna ask you guys about Skyline chili.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So we're not technically from Cincinnati. We're from like greater Cincinnati. We're outside of the city. In like kind of like Ohio, like the way the southern Ohio is, it like you drop suburbs in the middle of the woods. But there's definitely Skyline chilies around there, and me personally, I think it's absolutely delicious. I know it's really controversial because it's like sweet. It's like sweet chili on spaghetti. And I know that sounds really weird, but they
put chocolate in it.
Good.
Yeah,
it's like exactly. And the hot dogs they have. If for some reason there's something about the hot dogs that are like you can't find them anywhere else, and they're like so good.
And they put like an entire like mountain of really thinly sliced like cheese on top of it.
Yeah,
like
they look fire.
The hot dogs look good. I'm looking at those right now.
Yeah.
Cheese coney.
Yeah,
really good.
I mean, like, Ohio is one of those places where there's a lot of reasons not to go, but if the few reasons there are to go, Skyline chili for sure.
Yeah, just to get the experience, because the biggest experience that regardless if you like it or not, it will make you feel terrible after you eat it, no matter if you like it or not.
Feel like you more.
Yeah. It's like the food you need like wet naps for to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's when you eat Skyline chili, it's like the end of your day. I keep seeing commercials where people are like, Skyline for breakfast or Skyline for lunch. I'm like, if I eat Skyline for breakfast,
Skyline is pretty good.
I would just not leave my home after that. I would literally.
And they're like, I like bringing the family. I'm like, are you trying to kill your children?
Like that's like pure.
I want them to sleep on the car ride home. Eat this.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out Skyline chili, but don't eat it too much.
Don't eat Gold Star. Don't eat Gold Star.
No,
though.
Fuck Gold Star.
Yeah.
What is Gold Star?
It's the like competing chili place that does the exact same kind of chili.
Okay.
But bad.
but it's like worse. It's like the only difference.
Well, they even do the hot dogs. I'm looking at their menu now too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the exact, and then I don't know. I'm sure you can just make this claim. There's no like board or anything, but all their billboards are like Gold Star, the taste of Cincinnati, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can you just claim that for yourself? Can you just call yourself?
It's
mean-
they probably copyrighted that saying or some bullshit
Yeah.
like that.
They pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah, they pay for it.
we didn't vote. There was no democracy involved there.
Well, it's like every restaurant ever claims they're the best or whatever in the city or best in the world. It's like best coffee in San Diego or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
can just
well,
make those claims.
back that up.
Repackaged Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like the Fiji water. I'm convinced the Fiji water is just some dude in Minnesota filling it up with his garden hose and then
Oh yeah,
just
dude.
slaps
Got a
the
filter
label
on
under and ships it off.
It's not as bad as those what are they called? The electrolyte balanced waters, whatever they are. Alkaline.
That's nonsense. Where
It's
it's
such
like
nonsense.
special water. I'm like, fuck you.
I've seen water that is filtered through lava rocks, and
Yeah.
it's like, what is
Yeah,
going on?
I love it. I love my water extra minerally.
Yeah,
There
I
was
only
there was
drink
someone
my water through lava.
There was someone who went to our bougie private school, and she would drink. You could like look up the brand of water. It like one bottle would cost $20 on Amazon.
That
It was from
shit.
glaciers. It was from glaciers. It's pure, not touched by humans. And I'm like,
And it
why?
has
Not touched by humans. They like
zombie viruses in it.
yeah.
The thing is in there actually
For
from
real.
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter loves John Carpenter.
Have you heard of Bristol Farms? Anyone here?
That sounds familiar.
It's
Wait.
this
I haven't.
famous grocery store chain in LA. That is like, I don't know. It's like literally everything that's wrong with capitalism, and it's like the exact same stuff you can buy anywhere basically, but it's like 6 times the price, and people just pay it so they can say they bought it from Gelson's, and like every celebrity in LA shops there basically. They pay like, there's like a video of someone walking through there, and they're charging like $18 for like a bolognese sauce in a jar.
Why?
Like smoothies
Is
for
it like one of those like
$23.
everything's organic and
Yes.
comes from like the rarest of countries or whatever bullshit?
Yeah,
they
it's some
use to
shit
market
like-
it.
yeah.
It's like when Whole Foods isn't expensive enough for you.
Right.
Real. If you're honestly.
Yeah. We have Jungle Gyms. That's our like weird store in Cincinnati.
Okay.
They just like they just
It's not bougie though. Jungle Gyms
yeah.
isn't it's like weird.
It is so strange. It's also ginormous. There's 2 of them, and you can get lost in there.
It's like halfway between a grocery store and an amusement park. Like, I'm not even exaggerating in any way. There's like giant crazy shit. There's like cars on the ceiling and like
There's animatronics everywhere.
Oh,
electronics
we
and-
used to have a place just like that because I grew up in New Zealand. We had a place
Yeah.
just like this in New Zealand. Not the I'm looking at it now. Wow, there's like waterfalls and grottos and stuff. We didn't have that, but we did have like the animatronic animals that sung and danced in our like produce section, in the meat section, all that stuff.
That's
I
so
miss-
horrifying.
I miss that as a kid. Like, as a kid, you don't find it horrifying. As an adult, you find it horrifying.
Mhm. That's for me. I just am like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I
Yeah.
literally-
Have you seen that Nicolas Cage movie about that, where he doesn't
Yeah.
speak the whole movie basically?
I saw the first 25 minutes and then I got. I didn't. It wasn't like I got bored. I just got sidetracked and then I never ended up finishing it. But
It's pretty good. It's like it's peak Nicolas Cage.
I love Nicolas Cage and I love horror movies, so I feel like it would be perfect for me. So
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Mandy? Have you seen Mandy?
I thought Mandy was great.
I love Mandy.
I loved the whole the way they used color in the cinematography.
Mhm.
Everything was like so dreamy yet so visceral. It was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. The ending scene with the sky and stuff. I won't go into it, but like it's so great.
It is. And they did the whole like sort of old school grindhouse like filter type thing on everything, where it made it look like cheap film, old and outdated. I love that look.
And they have like that like really like throbbing. I used the word throbbing. like pulsing like like atmospheric heavy metal. It's like really like it truly is like a black metal aesthetic for a horror.
For sure. Like black metal mixed with like a industrial punk type thing.
Yeah, and some doom metal in there. Like it's for sure. It's great. Yeah, but I love horror so much.
The most recent Nicolas Cage movie I saw was Pig. Did any of you see Pig?
I did. It was so strange.
I haven't seen
I
that.
loved it. Well, the premise,
good.
like I heard the premise, it was like, oh, Nicolas Cage has a pig and it gets stolen. He's trying to get it back. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm there. It's gonna be awesome. And the movie's like a really like touching character study about like a broken chef finding like his love for cooking. Yes. And it's like Nicolas Cage gives a really good performance, and I'm like, this is not what I signed up for, but I'm here for it.
And it's all set. It's set in like the Portland underground as well.
Yeah,
like Portland underbelly.
I'm convinced that Nicolas Cage is actually the greatest actor of all time. No hint of irony. 1000% sincerity.
He may
because I think what he captures is that, like, we have this expectation in modern cinema that things that are better if they're more realistic. But like that's not how theater has always been done. Like the ancient Greeks would use like really like over the top faces, or like burlesque theater is really over the top. And so his whole thing where he's like, you know, his like crazy character where he's like, the bees. That seems ridiculous, but that's also a cool way to depict a character, is through like being over the top and ridiculous. And he obviously can act like normal, like normal style. So he's clearly just making the choice to act that way, and that's genius. And
my brother's a big film nerd, and he was like, Nicolas Cage is great. He just picks every role, and it's just a big mixture of, he just picks the worst roles, and he gets into like these shitty movies. I haven't seen like all the shitty Nicolas Cage movies. I saw Pig and then National Treasure as a child, or that's what it is. Yeah, great movies. Love those movies.
Have you seen that super meta one he did with Pedro Pascal? Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Of course, I saw
it. Amazing. I love that movie so much.
Yeah. So good. And I mean, like, I'm not on the whole Pedro Pascal like craze right now. Like, I think he's a great actor and a great guy, but I'm not like thirsting over him or anything. But I think that his dynamic with Nicolas Cage is like so good. They have such good chemistry.
I came around to the Pedro Pascal thing after seeing like him do a bunch of like those YouTube interview series things, and he's a really quirky dude, and I like it. Like he's just an odd guy, and he just lets it all out when he does interviews, which I think is cool.
That's cool. He's relatable.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those like guys who are like super serious actors put up like all those weird fake front-facing personas where they kind of like keep all the weird inside, which I feel like if they just let that out, more people would find actors more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Should we talk more about music?
Yes.
On the music podcast.
We end up talking movies and horror like every episode for at least 10-15 minutes, so it's totally fine.
Hell yeah.
So music-wise, so far this year, has anything stood out to you both?
Oh, the new Danny Brown JPEG Mafia album, Scaring the Hose. Amazing. So good. Love those guys.
Chat Pile's God's Country on the
yes,
so good.
Amazing.
And then also underrated band also on the Flinter is Agriculture. They're like ecstatic black metal, like it's joyous black metal. It's so good. Yeah,
and then model actress with what is it, like Dog's Pile or Dog's Body or whatever it is.
Yes, that was really good. Very very good. What was that song called? God Mode? Or there's that one song on that album. I think it was called something Mode.
Pure Mode.
Sicko Mode.
Yes. Sicko Mode. Pure Mode. That track goes unreasonably hard.
Yeah.
For sure. I also have been listening to a lot of Pink Panthers, who I know is not heavy metal, but like I love her music. I think it's really, really like a new hot take on like break beats and cool like Brit pop synthy stuff. So I think she's really cool. And I also like Ice Spice, unironically.
Their single that they came out, what was it? The Boys
The
of
boys
Leia.
of Leia, the boys of Leia. He doesn't see.
That was a great song.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, and then other like older music from what have I been listening to a lot? Oh, recently I recently listened to Minutemen's Double Nickels on the Dime.
Awesome.
And I'm like, this is so good. It's once again the post-hardcore sort of thing, which hits my sweet spot, but like
Yeah.
it's like there's like 40 songs and like almost every one of them are good. And then I hear the Jackass theme. I'm like, oh, it's these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, the new 100 Gex album was really fun.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
really good.
like looking at my phone right now. Like, what new came out lately? What have I missed? What is some stuff that you guys think is good that we should listen to? That we should like influence Soy with?
Ooh.
I mean, I listen to a super wide range of stuff, so it's like everything from like weirdo black metal to like folk world music type thing and everything in between. But
Yeah.
my
Check-
two albums of the year so far are a guy from Spain called At the Altar of the Horn Guard. He did this like bizarre mix of black metal, ritual ambience, and like goth rock. Super cool, really fun. The first song is like a weird like ritual about nature. Great album. And then the other one is Zorn, with a self-titled album, Zorn, that just did this like super 80s sounding guitar, like this non-stop riffs of like it's a mix of like raw black metal with like
Wild Stallion rock and roll.
Yeah, just rocks hard as hell.
Hell yeah. Okay, I know some of Zorn stuff, but I didn't realize they put out an album this year.
Yeah, it just came out really recently. I think it was like the 25th, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I live in the woods, so like everything happens a few months in delay for me.
Okay.
You're farming and they're like, oh, new black metal album drop.
Yeah, I'm out here like harvesting my potatoes and I'm like, new black metal dropped from Civilization. Gotta go pick it up from the depot.
I've got one more and then I'll let Brendan answer his side of it. But there's a dude called Maxim Ducati from France who I've been following as a visual artist for years. He's this weird guy that kind of paints with his blood. Been doing this like really strange, like pop culture mixed with satanic stuff for like decades now. And he has an album called a project called KFR. And he's did an album called Pain as a play on the fact that he is an artist. But really, really weird black metal. Like super out there stuff. Really cool.
Love the way it sounds. I love the way that you describe that. I'm gonna check all those out. You'll have to send me the list though, because
I can send it to the Soy chat. No problem.
Lovely.
Brandon, what about you?
Nice. I've been on top of Zorn. I've been listening to that new Judiciary album.
That's good.
Flesh and Blood.
Really good.
Yeah, it goes hard. It's so good. And I've been listening to a lot of the Scarpotes. What's the name of their album? It's called Prayers to an Oblivion. It's awesome. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
It's like black metal with thrash and elements, and they're doing like 13-minute long songs, and it's so good.
Oh, and gotta give a shout out to the new like Depeche Mode album. It's so good. I don't know if any of you have heard it, but like they still have it.
It came out. I didn't even know they came out with a new album.
Yeah, it came out in March 24th. It's a genuinely solid album. Really good.
I like Depeche Mode. Hell yeah. That's Memento Mori. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, check it out. I mean, Depeche Mode is one of those bands that like people from all different genre fan bases just like and respect Depeche Mode. I don't really talk to many people that don't like them.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
I haven't finished it up, but I started it.
What do you think?
I like it. It's
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of like all kinds of music like that, and it's good. It's really good. There's another band, Cloak. They're putting out an album, Black Flame Eternal, and they're really good. It's like on that black and kind of thrash stuff. It's gonna be really good.
Oh, if you guys want something really fun to listen to, that's like super over the top, like type thing, comes out in 2 days. Australian band called Lucifer's Fall with an album called Children of the Night, and it's this like really theatrical, intentionally over the top doom metal with like these outrageous vocals.
That sounds awesome.
It's great. It's like playing on, the whole like Venom sound from like the 80s.
That was the first heavy metal concert I ever went to. Was
Oh,
Venom.
that's awesome. Wow, that's a good first concert.
For real.
So yeah, if you like that, it's like that but massively exaggerated, and it comes out in 2 days. I'll send you a link to that too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome.
I'm literally so excited. I have to say, like, of the metal, like, I'm much punk and in that sort of scene, but like of the metal genres, it's like down to like grindcore and black metal for me. I just like love sort of like raw, really powerful, and like sometimes like really over the top stuff. And I feel like that's also a huge influence on Soy is the theatrics. Like, I'm trying to, what's the black metal band that I think is really great? Let me look it up real quick. He sounds like he's just like,
Silence.
Oh, is that the one that Sean was talking about? Where like
Exactly.
he recorded vocals, but like through like he was just screaming so loud that all the ambient mics picked him up or something.
Yeah. Silencer though, I fucking love Silencer.
I do too. I love that like depressive suicidal black metal, that whole style, like the DSBM stuff, where it's just like that type of like completely raw shriek vocals with the clean guitar. Love it.
I mean, if that's the kind of stuff you're looking to listen to, you got to check out Liminal Dread Productions, because that's some like that's the core of what a lot of the music is.
Yeah.
Including awesome. the band I mentioned earlier, Tooth Puller, who I should reach out to because they're cool and they make cool music.
Oh, a really fun one I stumbled across, actually. I saw this dude live. I had no idea who he was. He opened for Protomata, and he is this one dude from LA, and he has, when he plays live, he has a bass player that joins him, and that's it. And he just kind of talk, shout, sings really outrageous lyrics about like substance abuse and killing himself and stuff. And it's like hip hop mixed with goth with like darkwave stuff. So he has these like pulsing industrial beats like and darkwave stuff with like a bass player, and then him just shouting the hip hop style, but like mixed with goth stuff. It's fun as hell, and it's called he's called Immortal Nightbody, and his latest album is Pain is Power.
Nice. I love the titles that metal bands come up with.
Yeah, me too.
I love like in black metal, like the band logos is like their name, but the font is like indecipherable.
Yeah,
you just like you can't read it.
Brutal Death Metal was the worst for that. It's like it's just a blur of someone just like colored in a page.
The one, my favorite logo right now is Sanguisica Bob.
Yes.
Which another.
Yeah.
They're from Ohio, aren't they?
Homicidal Ecstasy.
Wait, I have to look it up. Yeah, I saw them.
That's the album. Yeah, it's so fucking good.
Or at least I
like
saw them the first time in Ohio. They were opening for Red Death. They were so good.
Nice. Have you been following their fake beef? Have you been following their fake beef with Born of Osiris?
Yeah, I love their social media account.
It's great. It's so funny.
It's funny.
It's amazing.
They're honestly.
Have you heard 200 Stab Wounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So good. It's that same vein. And
yeah, for real. Where it's just absolute like boom, 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 punish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean like I love the sort of that's the other aspect that I do want to talk about. Soy is the social media aspect, because
Oh God.
linguistic love is exactly the kind of vibe that we're going for, where it's just like absolutely like absurd and ridiculous. Our Instagram and our Twitter is completely off the rails because I just use it as my personal account. It's just like the weirdest shit. It's whatever I think of at the time. And I feel like that, and I say that because that's like, I feel like that's a solid, I call us sometimes a chronically online punk band. Because it's like a meme page that like also
people like our meme photos on Instagram more than band related stuff. Like,
yeah,
most of the time. Like, we'll post like, hey guys, we're releasing a single. Gets like 15 likes. Eric posts like a funny meme about like, I don't know, like a black metal meme or something like that, and then it gets like 50 likes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and also the fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I completely lost my train of thought. What's the other ridiculous? I totally forgot what I was saying.
Well, originally the thing was their social media. It was originally Eric just ran Instagram, and then I ran Twitter for a while, and then we finally got it where we could all share the password with all the social media stuff. And then Eric and for me, I'm not as like bombastic and unfiltered and outgoing as Eric is. So like I tweet like, very like normal, moderate things, I guess. And then Eric all of a sudden is just posting the craziest shit. And people are like, is it all our friends like, is Max posting this? And I'm like, oh, I logged out a long time ago.
I remember what I was going to say is we did a Twitter poll, and it was, what is Soy? Is it a punk band or is it a meme page? And it was split 50-50. Yeah.
But memes help the algorithm, so they actually work in your favor as
right.
About
yeah.
If they're getting you the likes, then people are paying attention.
Yeah, Instagram's like, oh, people like this, we're going to push it to more people.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that the only thing that's important in life, is feeding the algorithm?
Right,
isn't that
exactly.
what we're all here on this planet to do?
Exactly.
Algorithm hungry.
If I'm really betting that. So I'm in my plan is that I assume that AI is going to take over the world. Like it's going to be like Terminator, like Skynet and stuff. And so the most beneficial thing for me to do right now is to be like, as feed the algorithm as much as possible and be as supportive of it as possible, so that when artificial intelligence develops, it will look upon me kindly. And
we'll take you for thinking ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, it's called investing in your future. That's what it really is.
Did you ever watch the 100?
I started it, but I don't know. I really only watch like dumb TV.
Oh, that's definitely dumb TV. I don't know. Well, maybe not. But that whole premise, like AI takes over, blows up the world. It's wild.
If you watch dumb TV, have you seen The Rehearsal?
Oh, I have not seen The Rehearsal, but I am a big fan of the last show that he had.
Nathan for You?
Oh, yeah.
For You? Oh my god.
I love that show so much. even I've seen the intro, because I've seen every episode at least 2 or 3 times, and I still laugh at the intro when he's like, I got really good grades. Graduated from one of Canada's top business schools.
So yeah, dumb TV for me is like MILF Manor. Have you seen MILF Manor?
No.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready for the roller coaster explanation of your life?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm excited.
MILF Manor. It starts like, it's obvious. Like, okay, yeah, it's a bunch of older women and younger guys, right? Obvious. Okay, and you meet the older women, and then they come and they stand in front of the like this canvas, and supposedly the handsome men on the other side. It drops. It's their sons.
Oh
no, literally I was watching it with my boyfriend, and we were so horrified by it, we had to turn it off and watch the massacre. We were like, we need a palate cleanser. That was horrible.
Okay, so their sons date the other women, the other MILFs?
Yeah, they date the other women. Yeah.
Oh man!
in front of their
That's
moms. That's so weird.
That's fucked up.
No, I know.
Have
but
they
I'm,
no shame?
that's what I'm saying is I'm convinced it's someone's surreal Freudian horror art project.
Asking for a friend, what streaming service is that on?
I don't stream things. I just pirate everything.
Okay.
I live in the woods. I can do whatever I want.
That's not beating the algorithm, though.
No. Oh, damn, you're right. Shit.
God damn it, Eric. You got to get on that.
I got to get all the subscription services now.
Exactly.
I got to get Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock, whatever the fuck the other ones are.
HBO Max.
HBO Max, Gay TV.
It's okay. In like 5 years, they're all going to be owned by like 3 companies anyway, like merged
Right.
into one thing because
Monopoly
monopoly
already
kind
owned
of
by
thing.
3 companies.
Basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just noticed time. Brendan, do you have any last few questions left, or are you basically good?
Well, I was going to ask about where your favorite venues were to like see music as a patron.
Oh, damn. In Ohio?
So,
Yeah, or like overall.
well, the most famous, like kind of like where the up and coming underground people play in Cincinnati is Bogarts. I haven't seen a show in Bogarts yet, but like there have been like so many legendary like shows there, like in the past, like in the 90s. And then, like the general places, like we have like, I don't know. I don't go to like a ton of like very small venues in Cincinnati. I saw Injury Reserve in Columbus at a diner like type club place, and there was like 200 people there. That was cool.
Wow.
So like Bogarts is probably the most like famous like small to medium sized act that people play at in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'd say that so Bogarts is in Cincinnati, right? And then across the river in Kentucky, there's Southgate House Revival.
Yes.
Which is like in a giant old church, so that's really cool. And then there's Greenhouse in Clifton, which is like a DIY collective that hosts really cool punk shows.
Do not play at the Thompson House.
No comment. Yeah, I mean, like, but also like truly and deeply, I mean this in the most genuine way that when it comes to Ohio music, the best band you'll ever hear in your life is going to be some random dude's basement at like 4 a.m, and they'll say you won't hear the name of the band, or it'll be something weird, and then you'll never see them again. Those are where the real shit happens. That's where the work's being done.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
The lowest of the underground. That's where the best shit is going on right now.
The like 9th circle of hell.
And then, have you guys played outside of Cincinnati?
We almost did a show in Detroit, but that got canceled.
We
and
play
Columbus.
Ohio and Kentucky. That's basically.
Yeah.
Nice. How'd that go?
I mean, we have a great time every time. I mean, but like I said, it's really just 1 or 2 shows a year. We're hoping that maybe, we're sort of in the long run planning to throw together like a big concept album or something about blowing up the moon, and so we might do like a tour or something. Especially now that like we're on a label that has more of like a out of state presence, whereas Floorjazz was very much Ohio oriented.
Cincy and Dayton.
Yeah, but what was really cool, it was really cool because it was like really personal and really exciting. But I also think that like this gives us an opportunity to maybe do a tour. Plus we could like go up through the East Coast up to Maine, and then I could just stay in Maine again because I live in Maine.
Nice. Yeah, I'm in Connecticut, so
hell
definitely
yeah.
make it to the East Coast.
Hell yeah. Shout out
Come
East
out, say hi. That'd be fun.
Hell yeah.
Then this might be pretty funny. I don't know. Maybe not. But where were you on May 28th, 2016?
May 28th.
May. Oh God.
Is that date significant?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, that because we're from
Oh shit.
we're from Cincinnati.
On the internet, enjoying it and mourning like everyone else.
Oh, wait, is that Harambe?
Yes.
Oh, no, I forgot about that until now.
Okay. All I have to say is that I don't know. There were kids in our high school who posted pictures. There's like a gorilla statue at the zoo, and they took a picture with it and they captioned it on social media like "Dicks out for Harambe," and they got like. They didn't get like expelled, but they were what's the thing they got
Suspended.
They got suspended for that shit.
I thought they did some bullshit thing of like saying like hands up, don't shoot at the Harambe statue.
Oh my god, that's horrible. Is that what it was?
I think it's because that was in my older brother's grade.
That's fucked up. It
is really fucked up.
Anyways,
high school is weird.
I mean, we went to high school with some pretty fucking horrible people, but like the point is I feel like I very much Harambe we were just kind of outside of it because we're not in Cincinnati proper.
Yeah,
I feel like
we went to the zoo a million times. At least I have.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was when I was pretty young. I don't know if you went there. I mean, the last time I went there was like probably the last time I tried to date a woman. It was like went to the like Winter Lights thing. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah. I went like last year with my little brother, and I went to like the gorilla exhibit, and I'm pretty sure like they have it like covered up obviously now. Like there's no way to access it. You can kind of see the concrete walls and everything where it was, but like they made sure that it's just not there anymore. That there's no remnants of it, obviously. But gosh, people memed on it for so long. It's like
They did.
That is the meme of Cincinnati essentially.
It was worldwide. Like I was living in New Zealand at the time, and everyone was talking about Harambe.
Yeah, it's a wild incident, you know. Like, so much went wrong.
Truly, I for legal reasons I can't really comment on the situation particularly, but you know,
yeah. He's still in our he's still in our hearts. Still in our hearts.
Very good.
You got any more, Brandon?
Yeah, the dog started going nuts. No, I'm good to go. That was my end.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I have two more for you then. So the first is a bit of an ambush question. If you were stranded on a desert island with a solar-powered Discman and 3 CDs each, what would they be?
Oh God.
Oh wait, hold on. I have hold on. I need to look on my phone specifically for this.
I'm also looking. I don't have any information stored in my brain. It's all in my phone.
So on my phone, I have like 15 downloaded albums, like I guess my 15 Desert Island albums. But if I had to like choose 3 of them, Remain in Light, Talking Heads, honestly. I love that album to death. And then need something with like a lot of variety that I would never get bored with. Gee, this is so hard. Honestly,
it is hard.
my personal favorite album still is Elephant by the White Stripes, but I don't know if I would bring that on a desert island though. There's a lot of good songs on it. I don't know. So difficult. I guess I go with that one, and then I need something fun. Prince's 1999 or like Mad Villainy, something like that.
Good.
There's so many good ones though.
Okay. If I could only bring 3, it would be My War, Black Flag.
Nice.
It would be Un Verano Sin Ti, Bad Bunny. And probably oh God, I don't know. I guess the Bible.
Johnathan by Soy.
The Bible on audiobook. Yeah.
That is the first audiobook submission.
Yeah, no one said that yet. There you go.
Cool.
Do you have it on your phone, Eric? Do you?
Yeah, you want to play a little bit of the Bible on audio?
Who's narrating?
Do you have one more question for us?
last one is if people want to listen to or buy your music or follow you on social media, what are the best places to do that?
Great question. Yeah, so on Instagram we are at soy_the band. You'll know us because it's like a picture of a hunky man with a soy milk carton for a head. Our Twitter is, I'm like looking at it as, is at Soy Band Official. Again, Hunky Man with the milk. What's our TikTok? It's like,
oh, I think it's the soy. I don't know. We deleted TikTok.
Whatever.
So
The point is,
I
yeah.
forgot.
So we find us on Bandcamp, find us on Spotify, find us anywhere that streams music. Check out Liminal Dread Productions. That's where you can pre-order Re-Energized or get a copy. Yeah, I mean, smoke signals work too. So you know, get with us however.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you guys taking the time, and it was honestly a lot of fun chatting to you. We can obviously, you guys are going to have some more works in the future, so I'd love to have you back on sometime.
Hell yeah!
Oh, we'd love to come back.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great, and
thank you.
Anytime. And for everyone listening at home, thanks for tuning in, and come back next week for another guest.